3 reasons why your head looks giant on videos. Now, the first reason is a nerd neck. What a nerd neck actually does, it moves the head more to the camera. If you look into the camera there, and your head is closer to the camera, due to perspective, if I move my hand closer to the camera, it appears bigger. Because perspective is actually something that is going like this. Ever seen a street? Then, the street goes to the horizon like this. That's reason 1. Reason 2 is perspective. If you now move your head closer to the camera just records everything a little bit distorted. But that's not the perspective point. The perspective point is that the lens also makes an impact. Meaning, if you have a lens that zooms in, so it basically is here, and then I take this part of the picture and zoom into this, then what happens is that it actually is not as close in comparison to the other things. So imagine basically a point here, and now imagine 2 points here. These 2 points now rotate. So the upper one is the head, and now in proportion to the other one, it's much closer to the lens than the other one. But if we move them much more away, and I can only move away if I also move away, then the same distance here is actually, it's the same absolute distance, but the relative distance compared to how much away from the camera the whole thing is basically not as important. And this is the reason why if you move away from the camera compared to recording yourself like this, your head actually will look smaller, and also your nose will look smaller, because it's actually much more in proportion to each other, because the individual differences in distance from the camera are not as important anymore, because the distance from the camera in general is much bigger. And now the third reason, tilt. It kind of plays again into the same niche, I would say. If you tilt your camera, or you could also say camera position, if it is down here, my head doesn't look as big as if I look like this. So basically the camera position again influences the proportions of the different distances to each other. If I have a camera that is mounted above me, then my head is much closer to the camera. It's not in total, so my whole body of course is away the same length again. But in total, not in total, but relative to the length of the camera, the distance from the camera, then again, it's the same thing. So if you move the camera up here, it is a lot closer, but that's not the thing. The thing is that the head here is a lot closer to the camera here compared to the whole rest of the body. And that's the third point. And these are therefore also 3 tips how to improve this oversized head looking style on camera.